When pain is too much, it's too much.
There's a sense of acceptance with 14-year-old Jerica Bolin, who has come to understand that she's no longer able to move on.
I need to do what's best for me. It was a really hard decision to make.
Jerica has been in a wheelchair as long as she can remember. She's been unable to move most of her body with the exception of her hands and parts of her face. Her mother Jen says the decision to die was something that's been discussed for several years, since most people don't survive the incurable disease as long as she has.
I knew it was coming, but I also realized that she fought much longer than she would have if it weren't for her trying to protect me.
Jerica plans to celebrate her life by putting on a prom dress this Friday night for an event at Appleton's Grand Meridian. She wanted a prom because she loves music. The event here will take place starting at 7, and it is open to the public.
I don't have many friends. I'm not because I couldn't get out really and do many things because I was in so much pain. And this prom is, well, we call it my last dance.
Sometime in late August, Jerica will stop using a ventilator she uses right now to breathe as she begins hospice.
Okay, so for many of us, it was really disturbing and hard for us to watch a 14-year-old girl want to die. So this is why this topic is so sensitive in our society. So before I start, I just want to let everyone know my views are not in this speech. I'm not presenting what I feel about this situation. What I'm saying is facts, and so this is not my opinion about this situation. So according to Death with Dignity, Jerica Bolin is only one of 10,000 terminally ill who have died from assisted suicide. So I'll be sharing what assisted suicide is and what it isn't, the legality of it, and the pros and cons of it. So first I want to discuss what it is. So according to MedicineNet, which is a website for doctors, that it's basically a dictionary for the health field. So it says that assisted suicide is when a doctor is the one who assists the procedure. Often, assisted suicide is confused with euthanasia, and the only difference between the two is who performs the act. In assisted suicide, the procedure usually involves a doctor giving a patient a lethal medication for them to take on their own. With euthanasia, it is more so the doctor is actually injecting the patient, or in some countries where it's legal, it can even be putting a plastic bag over their head and suffocating them. So in assisted suicide, like I said, it's just it's the patient wanting to do it, but the doctor, of course, has to give them the medication, but it isn't forced. Second, I want to address the legality of it. In the United States, there are assisted dying laws for terminally ill. The states that this law resides in is Oregon, Montana, Washington, Vermont, and California. Oregon being the first state to legalize assisted suicide. So in order to qualify for this procedure, of course you can't just walk into an office and say, oh, I want to take my life. So you have to qualify in certain levels. So in some cases you have to be 18 years old, which in this case, of course, she was only 14. So in that case, you have to be terminally ill. Something has to be killing you, or it's incurable. You have to have been to the doctor and they told you you only have 6 months or less to live. So the last thing, there are certain steps you have to take when this is done other than qualifying. You have to fill out paperwork that states that you are not a psychiatric, like something is not wrong with you mentally. So if a doctor does find that you have a psychological disorder, you will be transported to a treatment center that will help you figure out why you have these feelings of why you want to die. It is also the doctor's job to inform you of other alternatives, that killing yourself is not the only way to go about this. It is also their job to inform you that at any time during this process, it is okay to say, I don't want to go on, I'm done, I don't want to do it. And by law, you have to have 2 physicians review your case. So you might have one doctor say, okay, you qualify for this, and then their second doctor may say, I don't think you should go along with this. So you might not get all the answers. So the last thing I'll inform you about are the pros and cons, which this is from a Nylon doctor's blog, which I went with the blog because you get to see everybody's what they feel about this. It's not just, oh, they think it's good, or they think it's bad. So the cons part of assisted suicide is very ethical. They feel that it violates the Hippocratic Oath, which is for doctors, and it states that you do everything you can to keep your patient living. And it's like the proper conducts of doctors. They also believe that with this procedure, it opens the floodgates for non-critical cases, meaning people that may just be having a bad day. They might, they just might want to end their life, which in this case, it's not, assisted suicide is not for that reason. On the pro side, it is more about the patient and the family. They feel that you should die with dignity and that you shouldn't suffer. They also feel that without assisted suicide, people may begin to take their lives in more horrifying ways, as in killing themselves. So you have watched a video of a young girl who suffers from a disease that is incurable, and she did go through with it, and she did pass away. I've also given you facts and from both sides of euthanasia or assisted suicide. So I hope with all this information you have a better understanding of why this topic is so sensitive in our society.
What'd you like?
Yeah, pretty good delivery.
Yeah, excellent delivery. Tell us about your preparation for delivery.
Oh my gosh.